Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we have a pretty good lineup for you guys. I think we have 4 first appearances, 3 honorable mentions, so 7 titles in all to go through. Definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week, weekending January 5th, 2024. First up from Marvel Comics, Star Wars The High Republic Shadows of Starlight number 4. This features the first appearance of Baron Bulan, a scientist. This also features the first full appearance of Gira Staros, a senator and mother of Avon Staros. The cameo was in Shadows of Starlight number 2. Now, we always recommend picking up these Marvel-published Star Wars titles. You know, Marvel Disney is still churning a ton of media, especially for the Star Wars franchise, and you really don't know where any of these characters are introducing in the comics may end up. You know, if these characters hit the small screen or big screen, collectors do race back to the comics and try to find these first appearances. And this particular issue here has 2 first appearances, so we do think this here is one you definitely should add to your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. Next up from Marvel Comics, Vengeance of the Moon Knight number 1. This features the first appearance of a new Moon Knight. Now, you know, the Moon Knight franchise got a lot of attention, a lot of interest during that Moon Knight streaming series on Disney+. You know, if Disney Marvel is able to continue the momentum of the Moon Knight franchise into the future, then the first appearances in this title series may have more importance. So this title here may be a little bit more speculative, because you are specking on Disney Marvel keeping the Moon Knight franchise popular going forward, so these characters they're introducing in this particular title series have some more relevance in the future. So this one here is a little bit more speculative, but we always recommend picking up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel titles, and this particular issue does feature the first appearance of a new Moon Knight, and this here is the premiere issue of this new Vengeance of Moon Knight title series. So in our opinion, this one here is still worth picking up and adding to your collection, even if it is a little bit more speculative. So go ahead and grab this one here if you can. If you can't, then put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Darth Vader number 42. This features the first appearance of Enric Pride, a veteran of the Imperial military who rose through the First Order's ranks during the reign of Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, like we just mentioned a moment ago, it's always worth picking up these Marvel-published Star Wars titles. You really don't know what Marvel Disney has planned for these characters that they're introducing in the comics. You know, in recent years, Disney has pulled a lot of characters from these modern Star Wars titles and put them on small screen or big screen projects, and that's been a huge catalyst, huge driver for those characters. Collectors did race back to the comics to pick up the first appearances. You know, so these you don't want to miss out on for the cover price. So this one here, we do think it's worth picking up. Like we said, it's always worth picking up these Marvel-published Star Wars titles when they feature first appearances. So grab this one here for your collection. And finally for Marvel Comics, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099 number 1. This features the first appearance of Marvel Zombie 2099. Now, the Marvel Zombie franchise, or story arc, is incredibly popular with fans and collectors, and this here does feature the first appearance of the Marvel Zombie 2099. You know, this one here may be a little bit more speculative if you do pick it up, but you know, the Marvel Zombie, like I said, that franchise, that storyline, that story arc, however you want to call it, has had a lot of collector interest, a lot of fan interest over the years. So in our opinion, this is probably one you still want to pick up and add to your collection, even if it is a little bit more speculative. So grab this one here for your collection if you can. If you can't, though, put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. And now for the honorable mentions. From Boom Comics, Pine and Merrimack number 1. A former homicide detective seeks a new life in a quaint town where she can investigate simpler cases until something truly sinister begins to emerge. Now, these small press and indie publishers, when these books get optioned for small screen and big screen projects, that's a huge price driver for these titles. And Boom Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up and optioned in the past, and this one here sounds like it lends itself very well to a TV show, streaming series, or feature film. So in our opinion, this here is a great spec. Grab this one here for a spec if you can. If you can't, then put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Star Wars Visions Takashi Okazaki number 1. This features the origin of the Ronin. Now, the Star Wars Visions series has been very popular with fans and collectors, and this here particular issue does feature the origin of the Ronin. This is one we do think you should pick up and have in your collection. It will be a little bit more speculative because, you know, it all depends on how important the Ronin are in the future of the Star Wars franchise, as to how important the particular origin story is going to be in the future. But like I just mentioned a moment ago, this Star Wars Vision series is very popular with fans and collectors, so you don't want to miss out on this for $3 or $4. In our opinion, the risk of holding these is well worth the reward. So grab this in here for a spec if you can. If you can't, though, put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. And finally, for Marvel Comics, Amazing Spider-Man number 41 variant. This features cover art inspired by Avengers number 1. Now, we typically never recommend these variant covers for any title just because there's so many variants for every single title that comes out these days. But this particular variant here, this features Disney characters in place of the original Avengers team on the original Avengers #1 comic cover. So this one here we do think is going to be very popular with fans and collectors. For $3 or $4 to get this title off the shelf, this is going to be super cool to have in your collection. You know, Disney is the most heavily collected brand in the world. They do have a ton of collectors, and the fact that this is actually on a Marvel comic as well, this one here we do think is going to be sought after and collected. So this one here we do think you should definitely pick up for your collection if you can find it. So there you have the 7 titles we have for you guys this week. Definitely some books in there you guys want to pick up for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. As always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.